Are you ready for some smart, plain talk on politics, Israel, and the law? It's the Andrew Parker Show. Let's roll. Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Parker Show, episode 441. It'll be known as the episode, several of them are like this, but where I got to get something off my chest. It's burrowing in and causing aggravation. And I don't like being aggravated. I don't want to be aggravated. No. Happy-go-lucky. The sun shines all day, every day. That's how it should be. But you know what's aggravating me? Is people who take the side of the criminal while standing in the way of law enforcement. Why are we doing that so consistently? Yes, there are times when wrongdoing occurs and it's brought to justice. Derek Chauvin was brought to justice. He's spending his life in prison. He committed a wrong, a serious wrong, has been found guilty for it. He was the murderer of George Floyd. But that doesn't mean we knee-jerk automatically take the side of the criminal. And the Democratic Party, those on the left, have consistently been doing that. And when I say criminal, I'm talking about those who violate our laws democratically adopted and on the books, such as illegal aliens who are in this country. Oh, he said illegal aliens, how horrific. Listen, the term aliens is included in our Constitution. It is not this horrific term. It is a non-resident term. Illegal is accurate. If they came here not through the legal process, but illegally, that is who are being consistently defended. And what's crazier is Democratic Party policy opens the borders so that people can come in violation of our laws in the millions once they're here and the borders are shut by the next president, Donald J. Trump. Then the Democratic Party and those on the left argue, oh, no, you can't take action to remove them. And I'm talking about people who have committed the crime of coming into this country illegally. And many have committed far worse crimes. But that is a crime in and of itself, and it is a crime that has enormous cost, particularly when we have not vetted and we do not know who they are. You don't like me calling them criminals? And how can you do that? You're a Jewish American, and the Jews all immigrated to this country. And they learned the language, and they became important part of the backbone of this country, as many other immigrant communities did. They came here legally. They didn't come here illegally. And don't pretend that they did in the millions, because they didn't. No country would do that. So taking the side of the criminal, this guy, he beat his girlfriend, where was his wife, and was part of these gangs, Abreu. He's visited by members of Congress as if he is this saint. Why? Because he was an illegal immigrant in this country who was removed. What is the basis for supporting that sort of policy where you canonize some not so good guys who are here illegally, who are removed? And then you go a step further and you fight against the removal openly of illegals, of very dangerous people, in addition to those who are simply here illegally. It creates great danger for citizens and great cost for citizens of this country. I mean, look at all of the examples. You can't ignore them. One is too many, but there are many examples of people being murdered by those who shouldn't even be here. It's happened on subways. It's happened in the light of day. And many of them are out rioting, and I don't say protest, they're rioting in the streets. Violating laws there as well. And when we try to bring society into some semblance of order, those who do that are attacked. Attacked by the left. And, you know, it's just, I'm a simple guy. I'm just thinking, if you violate the law, you should pay the consequences. And we need law enforcement to do that. Let's work together to enforce our laws. Those are the statements of our societal mores and how we want to live together. If you ignore them, it results ultimately in a complete breakdown of civilized society. And that's what we're seeing now. And it is because we are idolizing, we are canonizing, we are supporting, we are taking the side of the criminal while standing against those who are simply trying to enforce the laws that we agreed on through our democratic representatives to follow. Again, I'm just a simple guy. I'm thinking, well, why are we doing that? We shouldn't be. We absolutely shouldn't be. And now, a word from our sponsors. A record of success second to none. Parker Daniels Keyboard Law Firm, the numbers tell the story. The last 5 cases our lawyers have brought to trial have resulted in million and multi-million-dollar verdicts for our plaintiff clients and 0 defense verdicts for our defense clients. Put simply, we try cases and we win cases. Hi, I'm Andrew Parker. At Parker Daniels Keyboard, we take our work personally and we go the extra mile. That is why some of the biggest law firms, locally and nationally, send cases to us to handle when they can't. If you have a challenging and critically important business or personal legal dispute that must be favorably resolved, whether regarding a contract matter, a business divorce, a real estate dispute, an employment dispute, a civil rights or defamation matter, plain talk, if it's a big deal, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com. Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you. And it goes further. You know, it's not just immigration and law enforcement there. It's, again, the rioting in the streets. It cannot happen. It is not First Amendment. It is rioting in the streets. That is not protected by the First Amendment. Peaceful protest is. Fine. But this isn't that. And when the crime rate waves are coming, as they are, you know, kids are shot in Chicago every weekend. Every weekend. And we accept it. Why? Because they're black kids? So what? Their life isn't as important as someone else's? You're darn right it is. But because they're black kids, 6 or 7 shot this weekend. No big deal. This Brandon Johnson, the mayor. It's the worst. The worst. And when Trump wants to put an end to it, wants to bring some law and order to the streets of our biggest cities, he gets called out for being a racist, for creating a harmful environment. But they're defending the criminals is what they're doing. The only purpose of the National Guard, for example, is to bring law and order. These guys aren't out there, you know, knocking heads of, you know, innocent grandmas coming back from the grocery store. They are there to take on the criminals. And thank God we have somebody who cares about that. Law and order is critical to a civilized society. It is the protection between us and the state of nature, where anything goes. So if the local community, because they want upheaval, they don't care about crimes in Washington, D.C., Chicago, all the cities that we've talked about, don't care about it. Well, the federal government does. And they're stepping in. And that protection is key. And if it means they're rounding up, ICE agents, they're enforcing the law. If they're rounding up people who should not be in this country, that has been done for decades and decades. What hasn't been done is allowing millions of them into this country and then saying, now that they're here, we need to take care of them, we need to protect them, even if they have violated the law. No. It doesn't make sense. And if you speak the way I'm speaking, you get called a racist. Ignore the crimes that one community or another, a person from one community or another might have committed. Ignore that. If you accuse, if you support removal or applying the criminal justice system to the person's conduct, you're a racist. $1 billion of Minnesota taxpayer money stolen. Fraud, theft from the government coffers. Yeah, I mean, it's outrageous. And if you raise it and demand justice for it, you're a racist. You're an Islamophobe. No, I refuse to accept that. And none of us should. It doesn't mean you're a racist. The same reaction would occur if they were white or green. It isn't about that. It is about the conduct that they are being alleged to have engaged in. And if it is established, and believe me, the allegations and the facts surrounding it warrant it to be investigated and looked at closely and determined, how big is it? Who knew about this? What did it? Did anyone take action? Why didn't they? And what are we doing about these fraudsters? Is it continuing as we sit here? The amount is staggering. And no one has lost their position as a result of it. Also staggering. But if you wade into those troubled waters, you're a racist, you're an Islamophobe. That's bunk. I'm not accepting that. When Bernie Madoff engaged in the horrific acts that he engaged in, the book was thrown at him, and you didn't see anyone from the Jewish community coming to his defense. You didn't see anyone screaming and hollering anti-Semitism. No. We were some of the most affected, and we called it out. And actions have been taken since to make sure this type of thing does not happen in our community. Is the Somali community doing that in the Twin Cities? They should be. And the left and the politicians are there, again, to protect not just the community at large, but the criminals who have been alleged to have engaged in this conduct. Again, taking the side of the criminal. Undermining and attacking law enforcement. $1 billion. We've got to stop doing that. We have to start defending the laws that were democratically adopted by our representatives. And enforcing them. And not having exceptions, not having discussions of, well, relatively speaking, it's not that bad, so no big deal. No. It breaks down, again, it breaks down civilized society. It's the beginning of the end. Just had to get it off my chest. Let's turn the corner. Thank you for listening. Until next time, be kind to your neighbor. For more Smart Plain Talk, go to theandrewparkershow.com. Learn about all of your listening and viewing options. And remember, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. This episode of The Andrew Parker Show is sponsored by Parker Daniels Keyboard and True North Private Investments.
Did your employer make you sign a promissory note when joining the company, and now you want to leave, but you're afraid your firm will pursue you personally for that debt? This is Jesse Keyboard from the law firm Parker Daniels Keyboard. I recently represented a client who had signed such a note, and I was able to get them out of their $500,000 debt to their company, which allowed them the freedom to exit a bad employment situation and enter a much better one. Meeting our clients' objectives is our focus at Parker Daniels Keyboard, and in this regard, we win. Our experienced trial team of lawyers at Parker Daniels Keyboard have secured major victories in state and federal courts across the country and through arbitration. We have the legal expertise in all types of business disputes, labor and employment matters, real estate matters, shareholder disputes, financial transactions, security issues, and appeals. For wise counsel, winning results, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard, a premier litigation law firm that provides efficient, aggressive, and innovative solutions to complex legal problems. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com.
Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you.